Hello, welcome to the Eclectic Reader. Listen to great books and stories while you use your eyes and hands for other things. Now here's your host, Madison Mason.
Hi, it's Madison Mason. Welcome back to the Great Quarry Boys, Chapter 29. Watch this story turn. The Great Quarry Boys, Chapter 29. The Ride into the Mist. There was a hole in the rain as he walked to the barn, but the sky was steely cold and dark as a bruise. He surveyed the air to read what was coming in the next hour. The powerful weight of the heavens was ugly and sullen, as if waiting for someone to take it out on. He wanted to grab advantage of the break in the weather and pull Dino into the yard, cinching and mounting quickly. They were to the edge of the woods when the hound got up courage to charge as they disappeared in the trees and stood screaming in righteous rage at the edge of his property. Into the forest, Dino retraced his steps from the night before as if he had made this passage many times. He seemed edgy and jumped as sudden sprays of water sprang from heavy laden branches. The woods were alive. Animals scurried about rebuilding, foraging, hiding. Streams and rivers ran where there were none before. The big roan, heading home, took his own lead and Todd gave in. The horse took chances that the boy might not have taken, but Todd, too tired to fight, let the animal prevail. Halfway through the black pine forest the rains came again, and this time they brought thunder. Loud and closer than comfortable it came. Todd couldn't see the lightning because of the dense atmosphere of the wet trees. He would see a patch of sky light up between the treetops when they hit a trail or found the remnants of the old road, mostly washed away over the 2 weeks of siege. He measured the distance of the lightning by counting seconds for thousands of feet. When he saw a flash, he counted 1,000, 2, 1,000, till he figured the electric part of the storm to be more than a mile away and off to the left, which he thought was east but wasn't sure. It just seemed brighter. It was disorienting to a farm boy to be unable to spot direction. He kicked Dino in the ribs. The woods were bad enough, he thought. The one place he did not want to be was on horseback in the middle of a lightning storm. Dino sensed danger and picked up his tempo. Before long, they forded the new river at the same place and began to close the distance to home and safety. Just in time, Todd thought. The thunder was moving closer and came now between 1,000 and 3, often closer to 2. This meant lightning was striking 2,500 feet away and closing in. He pushed Dino harder, and the horse plunged down the sodden trail, slipping and stumbling as the rage of the storm approached with the growing wind. Todd pulled back the visor on his hat to see, and wished he hadn't. Off to the left, a violent blast of lightning tore down into the earth. A pine screamed as it split and plunged in through the water-heavy arms of the surrounding trees. It thudded to the ground 1,000 feet away. The cloud of static electricity that flew off the blast was so strong Todd felt all the muscles on the left side of his body cramp slightly. Dino let out a high whimper and took off at full gallop. Todd tried to hold him back, but it was impossible. Dino was making a run for the barn, so Todd held on and dodged low-hanging branches as the sounds of the storm swung closer. It was chasing them now, tearing through the forest after them like a malevolent fairy-tale giant, searching out the despised mortal to crush. The hot center of the storm was running at them from their left flank as they tore out of the woods and flew down the long hill to the farm. Rain pelted like stinging salt. It was impossible to see. Dino clamored for ground, ears plastered back and nostrils flared, pumping clouds of steam, grunting with the effort. Todd could hear the giant's huge footsteps nearing as the outline of the farm emerged, dim in the watery distance. He felt safer out of the woods. Chances were that the thunderhead would hang over the forest, drawn magnetically to deep-rooted trees, pulling its unpredictable force into the earth. But it was closing in. Adrenaline was driving them both, and Todd's stomach was near his mouth as the gap closed between them and the dry safety of home. "Come on, Dino! Blow, you stud!" he screamed into the storm, but his voice was thrown back down his throat. A horrible crash from behind told him the vortex had found them, They were now in the magnetic center of the colliding electric violence. Across the soggy fields they tore, the roan's powerful hooves digging ruts in the chocolate surface, throwing heavy spray behind as if to cover their trail, to ward off the enraged giant. Death breathed its sizzling electricity around them. Fear clutched the pounding heart of the horse and pulled the wet hairs on the back of Todd's neck. Dino slipped and clambered for the road, grabbed his footing and gathered strength. He fought to close the last 1,000 yards to the milking barn. Sanctuary rose in their vision, blurred and white, with 4 strong lightning rods to seduce the savage atmosphere and drive its power into the earth. The old willow drooping opposite the road marked their halfway point. "Come on, boy!" Todd screeched, his lungs burning. Thunder collided behind them, and they crashed terrified through pools of water, throwing fearful spray as they ripped through a world now liquid, danger, confusion, and heat. A raw blast of searing white heat shook teeth from bones and threw the world into instant darkness. How it burned! A cacophonous explosion of phosphorescent black, shredding the thin barrier between life and the floating, vaporless black void. Death had caught them at last. Blazing white, hideous heat, black, black, blacker, nothing.
We hope you have enjoyed this episode of The Eclectic Reader. Please go on to the next numbered episode to continue. Also, check us out on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. If you'd like to help support the project, you can donate under Madison Mason at Patreon. And please, check out our website, kltkrdr.com, for more information.
Hi, this is Madison Mason. I want to personally thank you for listening to The Eclectic Reader and invite you to share your experience, your thoughts, and your suggestions. We have many great books lined up for the future, but if you have requests for anything that is in the public domain, please email us at kltkrdr@gmail.com.
kltkrdr@gmail.com